Hey, I'm Holly Ann. Welcome back to my decade-long project Pan, where I go on a 10-year-long journey of using up all of my crap. So today we're going to go down memory lane in this segment of my inventory series where I give you the numbers and show you the products. Can anybody tell me the last time that they saw somebody upload a video called My MAC Eyeshadow Collection? Because I'm willing to bet it's been at least 5 to 6 years. And I just really wanted to create a nostalgic video for this part of my series. Not to mention, my MAC eyeshadows take up a huge chunk of my inventory, eyeshadow-wise. So I'm going to show you whether it be a pigment stack, a single in a pan, a pre-made palette, a pre-made quad, anything like that, I'm showing you today. Obviously, I showed you my paint pots in my cream eyeshadow video, which I will link below if you're in the mood to watch an hour-long video. I will go ahead and tell you that per product, like based on what the product is, like I said, whether it's a pigment, a single shadow in a pan, a pre-made palette, my MAC shadows take up 155 items. 155. I won't be swatching all of these today. First of all, my hand is so dry from swatching 78 cream eyeshadows yesterday. 90% of this you can't get anymore. And I'm not gonna make you want to go on a manhunt for these. I also have no problem calling this a collection because I have been spending years collecting these eyeshadows. I love them all. They all still work like the day I bought them. I'm not joking. There has been zero change in formula, no dryness, nothing is wrong with them. I keep them very clean. I sanitize them. Like once a month I go through and spray them all with alcohol. They're in a dark, dry, cool environment, and they are my babies. So if you're ready to go down memory lane with me, let's do it. We're gonna start with the only 2 mineralized eyeshadows that I have currently. That is not to say that I am not hunting for more of them. But I have this one. This is Guilt by Association. I don't know if you guys remember this collection, but I think this was the Style Black collection. Everybody hunted this thing down. I promise I won't go into a story about all of these, but I just remember the manhunt for this, and the fact that I own it is like, it's like a prized possession. And I haven't worn it in a long time, so I decided to wear it today as a liner. And I really love it, and I'm so glad I have it. And then the second one is By Jupiter, which is in my Pan Those eyeshadows. The goal is to use it 30 times or hit pan on it. I also wore this today because if I was gonna wear one, I may as well wear the other. Alright, so that's 2 products. Then I have already showed you this guy. This is a quad that I made. Each one accounts for 1 product, so there are 4 here. And I use all of these specific shadows in my eyebrows, so they're not really in my eyeshadow collection because I don't use them as shadow, but we have Omega, Cork, Brun, and Espresso. And yes, I will tell you the names of everything. Then there's this guy. This was part of the Holiday 2019 collection. I think I've used this twice, but I won't get rid of it because I love it. And I think it's like the Star Shooting palette or something. It doesn't matter. It doesn't exist anymore. And this guy is also a limited edition. It's a ×9 palette called Solar Glow. And I have no idea when this was released or why it was limited edition because it's beautiful, and MAC has so many ×9 palettes that I don't They should have just left this one in the permanent lineup because it's absolutely beautiful. All right, as far as Pigment style products, I technically have 10 pigments, but they account for 4 products because 2 of them are full-size pigments and then 2 of them are pigment stacks. And I have a feeling that some of you will remember what pigment stacks were, but they would come out in limited edition collections like this. So it came with 4 pigments, but you would get like a color story, a quad of them. So this is the first one. It's like a blue and a purple and a couple greens. This is beautiful. These both came out of the same collection. I think it was the Shop Cook collection, if I'm not mistaken. And then this is like the pinkier version. And then I have just 2 full-sized ones, tan and vanilla. If you're going to own 2 MAC pigments, I suggest these 2. I don't think MAC would ever discontinue these in a million years because they're bestsellers and they're bestsellers for a reason. And then I have 6 quads, 6 pre-made quads from MAC. They have all been depotted and labeled on the back. So I've labeled what the quad is and every shadow that's in them. I won't read you the shadow names, that's just for my own personal thing. But I love that I had 6 because they fit perfectly in here because this holds 24 eyeshadows. So this quad right here is the Showstopper quad. I can't remember what collection that came from. These 2 quads right here also came from the Shop Cook collection. This one is Call Me Bubbles, and this one right here is the Shop and Drop quad. And I remember everybody went crazy because Hypnotizing, which was released in the Lovelace collection, was re-released in this quad, so this quad sold out like hotcakes. And I love that I have it. And then these 3 here are all from the A Novel Romance collection. So this one is A Passionate Quest, this one is A Novel Romance, and this one is An Amorous Adventure. And I love this one so much because this is Sex and the Oyster. And if you try to find this eyeshadow, people are selling it for like $80. So if you can find this quad brand new in box, definitely buy it that way. Don't buy the single, just buy the quad. Just buy the quad. It also has Sable in it, which is a classic MAC color. And I have 2 pre-made MAC palettes. One is the In the Flesh, which really and truly, I think if MAC were to have waited and released this now, it would have done really well because it's a cool toned palette, and I know that these are getting more and more popular. MAC seems to be ahead of its time, which puts them behind the times later. And I find that very strange, but this is a beautiful palette. I like it. I don't use it a whole lot, but I do like it. And then this guy is the Nordstrom Naturals or Nordstrom Neutrals. I can't remember, it doesn't say on the back, it just says eyeshadow times 15. But I remember that Nordstrom partnered with MAC to create a 15 pan palette of their best-selling shades, or the shades that people really raved about the most. So I purchased this because I do have everything except Amber Lights and Beauty Marked and Carbon in my collection as singles, but MAC has pretty much discontinued most of the shades that are in here. They don't exist in their lineup anymore, and that is disheartening, and these are all great shades. Obviously I will show you the ones that I do have because I have them all. If you can come across this palette again, like new in box, it's definitely worth picking up because I found this one for like $35, completely untouched. There are people on Mercari that purchase from CCOs and then sell on Mercari, so you're getting new product. MAC also does not have expiration dates on the back of their products, much like Tom Ford and Bare Minerals. Bare Minerals eyeshadows do not expire. As far as I'm aware, MAC eyeshadows don't expire, and from my experience, They've been good for years and years. Okay, so this is my first custom MAC palette. Has 24 shades in it, and this is a cool tone palette that I created. And just to go through quickly everything that's in here, there is Floof, Quarry, Soba, Patina, Naked Lunch, Retrospec. This one is a new one called Natural Wilderness. And then, of course, Satin Taupe. This one is Malt, Cozy Gray, which is also a new shade, Vex, and Mineral, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is from the Emmanuel and Garo collection. Then up here is Era, Les Artistes, which is a new shade from MAC, Coquette, and Carbonized, which is definitely an old sought-after eyeshadow. I don't remember what collection that's from. This is Shroom, Dove Feather, Exotic Gray. Is it? No, Arctic Gray. Sorry, I can't even read my own handwriting. Smut. And then we have Dazzle Light, Scene. I don't know. Oh, that's Bowl Out. That is from that bowling collection that was super weird that MAC released. And then I think this is Typographic. Typographic, which MAC discontinuing their matte squared formula, I think was a huge mistake. Huge mistake. They never should have done that. This is one of my favorite palettes that I've created, and this is my like jewel toned palette. It's so fun to look at. Oh god, I just love looking at this. Okay, so Fig 1, Naval, and Plumage or Plumage if you fancy. And then there is Lotus Land, Starry Night, which is a new shade, Humid, that's a classic shade, Blooming Mad. I wish I knew what collection that was from. I don't know what half of these are from, to be honest with you. Green Smoke and Jealousy Wakes. So Tim Talia created this eyeshadow in the Blogger's Obsession collection years ago. And I love that I have it. Oh, I love that I have it. Okay, so this one is Stars and Rockets, Club, another classic shade, and Deep Truth, another classic shade. Nocturnal, which I really wish they wouldn't have discontinued because that's great. Teal Appeal, and what is this one? Atlantic Blue. This is not a great eyeshadow. Urban Decay Chaos. If you want a shadow like that, I would definitely get Urban Decay Chaos if they still have it in a single. This is my Rosy toned palette. Another one that I really love to just stare at. So we have Vapor, Royal Rendezvous, which is a new shade from MAC, and Star Violet. This guy is Mink Pink, Libra, and Rose Before Bros, which is such a cute name. That's a new shade from MAC that you can get now. Left You on Red, also very cute. That's a new one. This one is Nude Model, also still available. Cranberry, I think, is discontinued now, but that was a classic shade. Then we have Girly, Keep Still, which was... It was from the collection that MAC released the Glow Play blushes in with the clear packaging. I can't remember what that collection was called either. And then this one is Shady Santa, which is a new shade that you can still get. This is In Living Pink, also something that is available now. Finjan or Finhan, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but that is a new shade you can still get. And Oh My Mocha, again, still available. This one is my Brights palette. Look at it. Look at how much I love Chartreuse eyeshadow. I have like every bright green that MAC has released, I'm pretty sure I own. So this one is, ooh, I think I can name these without staring at the back. Ooh, no, this one's gonna come out. I don't want any of them to break. I've already had some casualties depotting things. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can do it without looking. Pink Freeze, Swish. I'm already gonna mess up. Don't look, don't look, don't look. Oh no, I gotta look, I gotta look. Sushi flower, dang it. Okay. This one is Well Behaved from the Magnificent Me collection. Red Brick, Paradisco, Coral, Chrome Yellow. That's the new one. Where's the Wi-Fi? I can't do it. Okay. Sour Lemon. Sour Lemon. I should have known. Nope, don't know that one either. Rated R. That is definitely Lucky Green, and this one is Shock Factor. This one is Mint Condition, Contrast, Digit, Humble Brag, Creme de Violet, Satellite Dreams. No, Plum Dressing. That's Satellite Dreams. Tracks, Lilac Touch, Indian Ink, and Shadowy Lady. A lot of these are classic colors that are no longer available, but some of them are. I believe Shock Factor is available. Mint Condition and Humble Brag are the ones that I know for a fact are still available. And then we have this guy. This is my palette of shimmery neutrals and one matte. So we have Nylon, Rice Paper, Tempting. What is this guy? I can't read that. Can't even read my own handwriting. Oh, Gold Bit. That one came out in the Neo Sci-Fi collection, but I think that MAC made it permanent. Grain, All That Glitters, of course, is a classic. They said they discontinued this and then brought it back. I don't understand. Mythology, Bougie Babe, which came out of the same clear packaging collection that the Glow Play blushes were released in. What is this guy? Antiqued, Woodwinked, that's a good one. Divine Decadence, Bronze, Mulch, Sable, and Twinks. I don't know how many of these are still available, to be honest with you. I know All That Glitters is, I think Mulch might be, and Sable might be. 2 more palettes. This is my workhorse palette. So this has all the good MAC colors in it. And I'm pretty sure that most of these are discontinued. And that is so upsetting. But these are all of my favorite matte eyeshadows from MAC. So we have Vanilla, Orb, Tete-a-Tente, Soft Brown, Kid, Wedge, Charcoal Brown, Concrete, Texture, Saddle, Uninterrupted, Brown Script, which my label is messed up and that's gonna bother the crap out of me. Swiss Chocolate, Foley, Embark, Ground Brown, Hoe, Blackberry, Handwritten, Corduroy, I love that shade. Yogurt, this one is Everyone's Darling from the same collection as Well Behaved, that bright orange, from the Magnificent Me collection. This is Sketch and Deep Dancin'. All of these are staple shadows in my MAC collection. And then lastly is kind of my fun palette. This has like my pressed pigments, my dazzle shadows, and my extra dimension eyeshadows in it. So this guy is Noble Descent, Modern Majesty, and Enchantment, and then this one over here is Regal Affair. I'm pretty sure all of these came out in a holiday collection in like 2017, something like that. This one is a Pro Longwear eyeshadow in Preferred Blonde from the Marilyn Monroe collection. This is a pressed pigment in Moth. This is a super popular sought after eyeshadow in Unflappable. I can't remember what those eyeshadows were called. Mega Metal maybe. This one is Jet Couture pressed pigment. And then over here is a Dazzle Shadow in She Sparkles, Dazzle Shadow in Make a Wish, Dazzle Shadow in Glitz Please, P for Pink, Dazzle Style, Dreamy Beams, and then all of these down here are extra dimension eyeshadows. This one is Delicate Drift, Deep Twinkle, Sweet Heat, and Havana. And that's it. that is my MAC eyeshadow collection. That is it. I can't tell you that that will be it forever, but that's it for now. I hope that this was enjoyable to you, to take a walk down memory lane and see where 155 of my eyeshadow products are coming from in my collection. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!